we're live with some South Florida help.
As long as there's a way to get to the communities, to the people out there, we're able to supply.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, a look ahead.
When people focus on the issues, and the issues are very clear for the American people.
Into tonight's vice presidential debate. And all aboard.
So there'll be an upgrade over what it was like in the 70s.
Onto Amtrak's newest project for South Florida. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Good morning, South Florida. I'm Julian Davis.
And I'm Emma Alonso. Today is Tuesday, October 1st, 2024.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Supplies from South Florida already on the ground in areas damaged by Hurricane Helene. The organization is called Global Empowerment Mission, and it helps by gathering from our aid and areas, sending it to places in need.
Caplin News reporter David Lascano is outside of their headquarters in Doral with more on the mission.
Good morning, everyone. I'm here at Northwest 84th Avenue in Doral, inside the headquarters of Global Empowerment Mission, an organization who's committed to help those affected by Hurricane Helene, one box at a time. The Global Empowerment Mission is a disaster relief organization that's been helping communities to withstand the impact of natural disasters for 12 years, giving a light of hope to countless families.
For instance, in Hurricane Helene, we have helped so far 4,000 families in Florida.
10 trucks have already been sent from this warehouse to the areas affected by the hurricane, like Nashville and North Carolina, full of supplies boxes to help those in need during this time.
This box is designed to support a family of 2 for up to a week. In here we have our hygiene products. In here we have 2 pairs of socks, feminine wipes, deodorant, toothpaste and toothbrush. We have 2 packs of pasta, some carbs and lentils. As long as we have supplies, as long as there's a way to get to the communities, to the people out there, we're able to supply.
No strangers to working extra hours and doing everything in their power to make sure that everyone who's calling out for help receives a helping hand.
For us, working extra days, working many days in a row is part of the passion, right? Because it's a passion for anybody to help people. So the little bit of time that I take out of my life to make anybody else's life better, I think is good for, and that's why we encourage everybody to try to get out here and volunteer if you can. If you can only come for a couple hours, listen, we try to, we encourage it. It definitely helps everybody.
After witnessing the situation, many young students responded to the call and decided to join forces.
Now leaving, I actually feel like I'm impacting a lot of families, and someone who, like, I feel like when you have everything, you don't really know what other people go through, and other people actually do need this. So I feel like, you know, I did the right thing, and I feel more grateful for what I have.
People here again has been following the trail of Hurricane Helene even before it started, and to this day they are going hard at work to help those families that are still in need. Reporting for Caplin News, this is David Lascano.
And this morning, hundreds of people are still unaccounted for in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. As Caplin's Anna Trinidad reports, the death toll now stands at 130, 56 of those in North Carolina alone.
In Asheville, North Carolina, roadways that previously looked like rivers are now filled with sludge.
It's pretty shocking. I don't think anyone really prepared for it to be this high of water.
Residents and business owners are returning to see their hard work gone.
Him and me are both from Florida, so we've seen a lot of hurricanes, but I've never seen anything like this. Just from the Swananoa River right here, that tiny little river just turned into this massive disaster. It's horrible.
Despite their own loss, residents are stepping up to assist their community.
We're coming out here to grab our trucks, actually, to go to a different location, and we're going to try to help some of these people out.
President Joe Biden addressed the devastation from Helene on Monday.
I've directed my team to provide every available resource as fast as possible to your communities to rescue, recover, and to begin rebuilding.
In hard-hit Buncombe County, which includes the city of Asheville, search and rescue operations are ongoing.
Trees are down. We're clearing those as quick as we can, and a lot of the critical infrastructure that we become used to every day in normal times is now gone, and we have to work around it.
Residents know it will be a while before things get back to normal.
It's indescribable. I don't know, it just was covered in litter and trees and mud, and it's stinky, and it was all the way up the street up here. It just looks like the bottom of a river.
Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Anna Trinidad.
Busted on a beach. Deputies believe an arrest in South Florida has cracked the case in a murder nearly 1,000 miles away. The sheriff of Fredericks County, Maryland, near Baltimore, held a news conference yesterday. In it, he revealed that David Turner was arrested over the weekend on a beach near his home in Miami. Deputies believe Turner's responsible for the murder of his ex-wife and her new boyfriend back in August.
We believe that Turner entered the residence through a back door sometime after 1 a.m. before 1:25 and murdered her and Mr. Lang in the bedroom, firing more than 42 rounds into the victims.
Crema Baker and Sean Lange were killed with Baker's 4 children inside the home. The kids were not harmed physically and were the ones who called 911.
And the man accused of trying to kill former President Trump is back behind bars this morning. Ryan Ruth entered a plea of not guilty in federal court yesterday. He faces 5 charges, including the assassination attempt, gun charges, and assaulting an officer. Prosecutors say Trump was just minutes away from Ruth's line of sight at the former president's West Palm Beach golf course on September 15th.
Election Day is 35 days away, and vice presidential nominees Tim Walz and J.D. Vance will face off in their first and only debate. Both candidates spent days preparing ahead of the debate tonight at 9 p.m. in New York. D.C. Bureau reporter Anthony Cruz is live at the nation's capital to give us a preview of the action.
Yeah, good morning, Julian and Emma. And while the previous debate at the top of the ticket featured a California Democrat versus a Republican residing in Florida, tonight will be all about the battle of the Midwest. And the key goal, win as many swing voters as you can in the region. Several pre-debate polls show Walz has an edge over Vance nationwide and in some key constituencies. New York Times Siena polls conducted in Ohio, Michigan, and Wisconsin found that 44% of likely voters viewed the former teacher turned 2-term Minnesota governor favorably, with 41% finding him unfavorable. The junior Ohio senator, who was previously a venture capitalist, was not far behind, with 42% in favorability, but nearly 50% of voters said that they thought of him unfavorably. Real Clear Polling's top battleground numbers has Trump leading Harris by the thinnest of margins at 0.1%. U.S. House Majority Whip and Minnesota Republican Tom Emmer, who has been acting as Walz in debate prep with Vance, says that the issues are what will help him win the debate.
I think J.D. Vance is going to do a great job tomorrow night. When people focus on the issues, and the issues are very clear for the American people. Donald Trump had a great economy, lowest unemployment rate in 50 years.
The Harris-Walz ticket has leaned on both candidates' middle-class upbringing, saying that they are better equipped to represent the interests of working people in this country.
Kamala and Tim have spent their entire careers fighting for middle-class families, like the ones they grew up in.
So the rules will remain pretty much the same as that of the presidential debate. The only key difference is that the microphones will not be routinely turned off when the other candidate is speaking, although the moderator still retains that power to do it when they choose. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Anthony Cruz.
And the Dolphins try to shine under the Monday Night Lights.
That's all ahead, and so is the story.
Hey, it's one of the cities that I have on my bucket list to visit. I've never been to Chicago.
All aboard for a new destination that Miami can reach by rail. Stick around, the train will be back in 2 minutes.
See us dream. See us remember. See us protest.
You matter. Your feelings matter. Your identity matters. Everything about who you are matters.
See us fight back. See us rebuild. See us shatter stereotypes. See us inspire. See us united. See us now.
There are
are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
A transcontinental train with a new destination for South Florida. Emma, did you know the Floridian is making a comeback for the first time in 50 years?
I did not know that, Julian.
Yes, the Amtrak passengers can go from Miami to Chicago now.
But it's different from the original train back in 1971. DC Bureau reporter Samantha Gutierrez is in Washington with more.
Amtrak is combining 2 trains that depart from here, Union Station in Washington, for a line that will connect Chicago to Miami.
The Capital Limited and the Silver Star will become one line, starting in Chicago, with stops in Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Washington, Jacksonville, Orlando, and Tampa before arriving in Miami. Amtrak spokesperson Mark McGlarry said popular demand has pushed for the Floridian since its stopping in 1979. One of the main reasons, too, adds McGlarry, is to reduce the amount of train traffic going through New York City, a major hub for Amtrak.
So we're capitalizing on a situation where we needed to reduce the amount of service north of Washington and also benefit customers. So we've brought back the Floridian name.
The Floridian will still feature its 2-day ride, but McGlarry explains the track is more reliable and the experience is an upgrade from its predecessor.
With traditional dining on tablecloths and flowers and food prepared on board. So there'll be an upgrade over what it was like in the 70s, and it'll be an upgrade to not have to pack and unpack or change trains in Washington during this time.
Chicago resident Anna Garro sees the Floridian as a great addition to the city trains.
Knowing that the winter is always a tough time and having a home back in Florida, it's nice to, go over there for the winter and then come over here for September during hurricane season.
Miami resident Esteban Rodriguez told me he's never been on a train, but the Floridian excites him.
Hey, it's one of the cities that I have on my bucket list to visit. I've never been to Chicago.
The Floridian will make its inaugural run November 10th, with ticket prices starting at $113. Reporting for Caplin News from Washington, D.C., I'm Samantha Gutierrez.
The Dolphins' offensive woes continued last night, falling to the Titans 31-12 at home. Miami fans at Hard Rock Stadium let their frustrations be heard. The Dolphins' offense couldn't find rhythm, managing just 78 passing yards. Tyreek Hill was held to only 23 yards, while the crowd booed as Miami went another game without a lead. Tyron Huntley, starting in place of Tua Tagovailoa, rushed for a late touchdown, but it wasn't enough. The final score, Tennessee 31, Dolphins 12. The Dolphins, now 1-3, head to New England, hoping to turn things around. Stick around, you're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking, let's go. You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
I debate all day. It's what I do. But there are some things that are undebatable, like your mental health. I was in a dark place when my brother passed away in a car accident. I was depressed in ways I never imagined. I reached out, and my sisters came, my pastor, my therapist. They helped me get through it. I found that the more I spoke up, the healthier my mind became. When you love your mind, you can go so much further. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I help our fellows design their paths as creative entrepreneurs. My experiences serving startups, creative businesses, and cultural organizations, and my journey as a queer mixed immigrant with Haitian and Arabic roots, inform the co-creative environment we foster at Radcliffe. We leverage our collective diversity to encourage the building of lifelong personal learning networks and mindsets that stimulate continuous innovation.
And that's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Emma Alonso.
And I'm Julian Davis. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.